The sun comes up and the sun goes down. Work away, work away. We'll haul that lumber, lift that frame, grab a little shovel and do it all again. The sun comes up and the sun goes down. Work away, work away.
First thing I'd like to do is introduce or have you as a guest or a new member. Introduce yourself and see anybody new? New? Okay, starting back there, the beard.
I'm Jeff Witreedy. I just moved down from Portland, Oregon in September and signed up in January. It's my first meeting.
So we've communicated a lot, Jeff.
Yes,
nice,
we have.
Nice
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
But you haven't set your shop up yet.
Little by little. Little by little.
Good to have you. Good to have you. Good to meet you. Next.
My name is Syriac. I come from Salt Lake. Moved in. I left half of my shop in Salt Lake, but I have a few tools here, and I'm happy with what I have. So hopefully, I can do something.
Nobody's happy with what they have.
I'm already happy.
Then
you're not a woodworker.
Are you a professional woodworker?
No, I am not.
Okay. A few others of us like that too.
Yeah.
Unsatisfied?
By the way, I got my first line.
One more.
Yeah, Whit McLeod. I moved down from Arcata a couple of years ago to Healdsburg. So just
Well, good to have you. Remember now?
Wade came and grabbed me today. So
Great.
yeah.
Phil
yes,
Stiles, I'm up in Lake County and I'm a guest of Jim today.
Phil, good to have you. Are you a woodworker too?
Hobbyist.
Yeah.
I'm a general contractor builder.
Okay. All right. Well, good to have you. Good to have you. I forgot my first line. I'm Bob Moyer, chairman of this fine organization. That's why I brought the notes, not for anything else. That's it on the new members and guests and so forth. Okay, next we usually do, but we're going to skip it tonight unless there's an important question that somebody would like to have answered. We typically do a member question and answer session. The first one we had Jim, we kind of rigged it. Jim, when we were over at Scott's in Petaluma, brought his the thingy in the boat.
The Viking cradle.
Viking Navy.
Yeah, and so we like this few minutes to find out if anybody's got either a very clever answer to something none of us have solved before, something to do with quantum physics, if not that, then woodwork, or if you have a particular question. We might not be able to get it answered here, but in fact, at Scott's again, somebody had a question that we turned over, I think it went to Greg Zoll, as a potential answer. Does anybody have any great questions or great solutions or little tidbits you'd like to share?
I have a dumb question.
Terry, no question's dumb, Terry.
Okay, I have a really smart question.
Good.
I'm going to be making an embuya pie wedge veneered embuya table, and it has a black band around the outside, which is going to be it's walnut, and I'm going to use vinegar and iron filings thing that I've soaked, to make it black. So my problem is that the intersection between the embuya and the outer banding, I have to put something in there just to clean it up, but I can't sand it because it'll take the black off the outside edge, and I got to keep the stuff that I'm dyeing the outside edge from touching my embuya, and I'm kind of going, this is too hard for me.
The guys that we were at last time, I sent them an email and asked them the very same question, and I never got an answer.
Well, I'm probably isn't an answer then. I think maybe the material that I use in there, I was thinking of using guitar binding, something that doesn't absorb, and it's going to be tricky because I can't sand it flush because it'll take the black off of the walnut, and I can't, you know, it's.
Put wax on it or something to protect it
That's what I
temporarily?
was trying to figure out if there was.
Or
any
tape?
other-
Yes, I don't know, you know, the.
What about tape?
Usually leaks. Usually
Yeah,
it
you could
leaks.
finish it.
Yeah, I mean, I could brush.
On it and then
Could you seal it with shellac first or something, the other piece?
Yeah, it's probably what I'm gonna have
That's
to
probably
do,
what I'd do.
something like that. Seal the embuya. Anyway, I don't know, it was just a thought.
When you, in this case, change the color on the wood, like using those various chemicals, vinegar and whatever else, Coca-Cola sometimes does
Yeah.
that too.
It's only the
Do you have problems gluing when you glues
Well,
up pretty well?
I
usually?
assumed that I would be gluing it with, it's a laminate, cause I've got 16th inch, veneer walnut and I'm gonna laminate it.
Mm.
And, you know, it's not a thick band on the outside, but then that is what needs to be black, and I'm assuming that I'm gonna put it on first and then sand it and then do the, chemical treatment,
Okay.
and hopefully it doesn't get on anything else. I was just kind of going, just wondering if anybody ever did that.
Any other smart answers for Terry?
do a sample.
Yeah,
Experiment
be
first.
careful.
Be careful. Okay.
Always experiment.
All right, if there are,
I have one question. Does anybody know of a wide belt sander in town, now that we're losing Steve Wickfield, where you can pay by the minute and get some stuff done? I used to take things to Sweetwater, but this is, I've got 2 or 3 slabs I'm going to be working on, and they're dry, about 12%, but they're about 40 inches wide and 17 feet long. And they're 1,500 years old, and I don't want to screw it up. They're already split, because they split while they were drying, of course. And now I'm going to have to sand them and then probably stitch them together, but I'd love to stitch them together first and put them through a machine in one shot.
Yeah, I know the guy has a 4-foot wide sander off of River Road.
Really? Does he allow folks to come in?
Yes, he does. I'll try to find it in my.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And I'll find it.
Griff Oakey.
Oh, Griffwood?
I
No?
think Griff has a big wide belt.
Does he?
Yeah.
Greg Hay is buying Steve's wide belt. Greg Hay,
Uh-huh. Well, another thing, now that I think about it, is I visited a woman in Sebastopol who hadn't advertised, but she's got some dry, sequentially stacked walnut that's beautiful. But it's ready for furniture making. It's only about 6 feet long, but it's about, looked like it was 12/4.
Wow.
And she knows what it's worth, kind of, but at the same time, it's hard to find stuff like that. And it's true black walnut, it doesn't have much color running through it. And if somebody wants it for furniture, you know, they may have to pay a couple $100 a slab, but it's worth it, I think, if that's what you're looking for. And I can certainly tell you who it is if someone wants.
Was it Debbie Zito?
No.
Okay. Just wondering.
any other questions or answers?
Answers are always good.
I've got
Yes, sir.
just a real quick one. Has anybody used, I've got some Tineo, it's called Tineo, and it's commercial veneer, and it's highly figured, it's like fiddleback, and I don't wanna get a sand through on it, and I'm gonna have to take it down a little bit, but has anybody used flattening solution? Does it help on fiddleback figure? To
Like
flatten it
glycerin?
more?
You mean like glycerin?
Yeah, glycerin would be the same.
I know David Marks has played with glycerin a lot.
Yeah.
I use glycerin all the time here too, for
Yeah.
flattening.
Does it help on fiddleback figure? Does
yeah,
it
a
lower
lot.
it enough?
In fact, if you have a joiner, you can run something over, you shoot it with a solution of glycerin and water, it won't tear out, you know. If you have to have an aluminum joiner, but we use it a lot for flattening bizarre veneers.
You wait long
What
enough.
does that do when you go to put a finish on it, though?
It's just a sugar, you know. Really, it's just a fat and a sugar, and so you know, it just planes off. It's in the solution. It's a small amount of the solution, but it's like, you know, I think where David got the idea and where I got the idea was from baths of you know, in cutting veneer logs, putting them in a hot bath of, you know, it just relaxes the fiber, so that if you clamp it down, it'll go down.
The commercially available solution says finishes don't affect it at all. So.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with finish afterwards. You know.
Whoops. Do you want to unplug it?
Anyone else?
Unplug it.
You can just unplug it and drop it.
All right, well, some of you, besides Phil with the wood, any other member announcements, like you need a job or you're selling a piece of equipment, anything like that? And again, we always are open to posting those kinds of things on our email list. If you come up with those kind of things, that's part of being a member of the organization here. I'd like to thank.
I am interested in a photographer for furniture, a product photographer. And just so if anybody As somebody that would recommend.
Yeah, what about the time?
I can make a recommendation for that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
his wife, very good.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm,
I
no,
know
him.
him, yes, I do.
You could look it up.
Yeah. He's having some practice with us now. I'd like to thank Mr. Bill Hartman. Where are you, Bill? You still here?
In the back. What did I do this time?
Well, you hosted our last meeting
Oh,
at
my
the high school.
pleasure.
We'd like to thank you very
I was
much.
there.
For now, we'd like to thank you. Later we'll bring up some other things. And thanks to Tom, of course, for having us this evening. It's a great shop.
It's a tiny shop, you know.
How many people do you have working here?
Well, we've had as many as 5 or 6, depending on the sweatshop atmosphere. But typically, I have one full-time guy with me. The fellow was out, Jordy. I don't know if he's in here now. I think he's out watching cars. And I have a couple of part-timers that come in. So typically, we have at most 3 people in here working. You know, sometimes 4. That's enough. You know.
But you also have another shop somewhere, huh?
Well, the other shop is sort of in transition, which is why we're not meeting there. It's kind of we're trying to figure out what to do with the company because we have some major issues relative to our stockholders and all the rest of it. So, like, really couldn't bring a whole group in there at the moment, or I would have done that. The other company is we're kind of trying to reconfigure it and figure out what we're going to do for a lot of complex business reasons. So we're sort of floating right now. But the other shop's in Windsor, and it is a little bit larger. But like I said, even my attorney said you shouldn't be holding any business there at the moment when we settle these other issues. So that's kind of what's happening.
Tonight I'd like to I've asked for volunteers to help with doing things like writing up the newsletter. And we've gotten a couple, 3 people, including Terry. And tonight, by memory, she's going to write her notes up. Now, Art brought his voice recorder, and Terry, thanks very much for doing it. If anybody really would like to step up and help with anything, we can use it. We ask all the time. But we rarely get somebody who actually says, hey, I'd like to be chairman next year.
You're still drumming, beating that drum.
I always have, for years, even when I wasn't on the board. Now, I'd like to bring up a not so sensitive subject. We have a few of you, at least I know of one in this room, at least, who hasn't paid his or her dues this year. I won't ask you to raise your hands.
Particularly guild members.
Guild members, if we have them. Anybody really, what we end up doing is that we try to collect the money, then we start sending out emails, and then we start showing up at your house late at night and all that stuff. So tonight, I'd like to make a fool out of one such person who hasn't paid his dues yet, and his name is Mr. Bill Hartman.
I have bad news for you. For last year.
I just turned it
He
in.
paid him.
You were supposed to wait for me.
I know. I look kind of busy.
Okay, thanks for doing that, Bill.
Tonight.
There goes the sting operation.
The next person won't be so lucky when I point him out. And we've got a big list of the people who do. So if you haven't paid, either talk to Bill and pay tonight, which would be great,
I've got some forms, if you wanna pay
or
me, I'd be happy.
get
to
them
take
in the
them.
mail. Or get them on bank transfer, or whatever we can do.
Do you take Bitcoin?
Oh, yeah. We take old gold coins too. Okay, now I'd like to see, Bill, do you have anything to say about the membership or finances?
I can say a little bit, anyway. We're actually in pretty good shape,
Okay.
member-wise.
Good.
We've now got 69 paid up for 2014, which is pretty good. I have 118 members on the roster who are 2013, 2014 people and everything. What that basically says is that there's some 50 people in the 2012 type thing, and 2013 who still hadn't paid up and everything. And since we normally have a membership of about 100 paid members and everything, we need to pick up another 30 members or so to pay their dues now, and we'll be meeting our expectations budget-wise for dues. So,
Did you all hear that?
we're actually in pretty good shape. We're going to send out one more message to the people who haven't paid for 2014 yet, and just chide them a little bit, ask them a friendly reminder that we would like for them to pay. We always have about 15 to 20 members who pay at showtime,
Yeah.
and they may not rejoin this year. if they're not
Understood.
if they're not entering the show.
Well, if you haven't paid and you intend to join, do that, and if you have already paid and joined, you're welcome to join again. You can have 2 personal memberships in our organization. Any other announcements from any other of the board members?
I have one other announcement, it's not necessarily because I'm
Go
a
ahead.
board member and everything. I just wanted to congratulate Jim on winning the people's, I guess it's the second place, but in San Diego Design and Wood Show, they offer the Woodworker West presents first, second, and third People's Choice Awards. He got his Enchanted Cradle.
Oh.
The one you
One,
can't
one,
build?
the second place People's Choice Award. And there's a beautiful picture of it in the
That's
March,
great.
April issue of Woodworker West, okay, with his name and everything
Congratulations.
else, so.
Okay, now, Art. Oh, wait.
One more. The prospectus for this year's show is on the website. I hope you're all working on great work to put in the show. Check it out. That's all.
Okay. Art Hoffman, where are you? Where are you? You're in front of me.
Yes.
The floor is yours to talk about any future meetings and to introduce Tom.
Oh, well,
No. Come on.
the next meeting is going to be on Saturday, April 5th, and it's going to be at Joinery Structures, or the successor company to Joinery Structures, which is an outfit run by Paul Disco. And Paul is a, what could you call him? He's like a kind of very Japanese-inspired timber framer kind of guy who builds very, very high-end stuff. Larry Ellison. So he's really good, and he's been at it for a long time. And so I think he is mostly doing design work now. And I think what he is going to show us, this involves a trip to Oakland, so carpooling is recommended. But you'll be getting all the directions and stuff on the newsletter and in the reminders. And that should be pretty interesting. I think at 11 o'clock we have to be in Oakland. So at any rate, it involves a road trip. So that's what's in the offing for. He has a house. It's kind of his response to building green, and it's kind of a Japanese green dimension house, and I think we're going to be looking at that. So, at any rate, that's the next meeting. And as far as Tom is concerned, do we really need an introduction? You were at the show, you saw the guitar that won Best of Show. Tom has been building archtop guitars for many years here, and he's a master guitar builder. And I don't think I have to say a lot more. Tom, Ribbecke.
Well, thank you.
The sun comes up and the sun goes down. Work away, work away. We'll haul that lumber, lift that frame, grab a little shot and do it all again. The sun comes up and the sun goes down. Work